Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you all that COE 2025 tickets are currently on sale for a discounted price and the stock is limited. If you want to save some money, you can buy a ticket right now, and when you do, make sure to use code SPAZA17 at checkout. Just type it in there and press on apply. Thank you and enjoy today's clip. Have a good one, guys. Also, the mystery of the Thumbwiggle. How can I resist a video like that? Let's take a look. Maybe this could be an interesting watch. It's from a relatively small channel, Ferry, only 1k subs. We gotta get this guy up if this is a great video. It certainly looks like it by the like to dislike ratio and the general reception from what I've heard. So let's see what this thing is all about. The mystery of the Thumbwiggle. I don't even know if my thumb wiggles when I play. I don't think so.
Pose is usually played with two hands, one for aiming, one for tapping. In our tapping hand we use two fingers, because sometimes one just isn't enough. What you're seeing right now is called streaming.
Unless you're
Iwaxa.
Iwaxa.
Do it. Why her? Well, take a look at her hand. You should notice that the thumb is wiggling. What's up with that? Before you think I'm crazy for making this video, you're not wrong. But really, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Just for this video, I've conducted a survey asking all
Oh,
anatomy of their hands. I've questioned top players.
he has a green screen?
I've collected.
First Osu content creator to be able to afford a green screen? This guy could have potential. I see the production value already, 30 seconds in. Now you got me hooked.
Watched and analyzed so much handcam footage. And I even read studies to prepare for making this video. This
What?
video is going to be very out there. I can't promise that it's going to be of any significant value, to be honest. That this is just me going balls deep into a random thing that caught my attention. But I can promise you this. This is uncharted territory. There's going to be something new for you here. Something you haven't heard about before. So let's get started.
First, Zudi is obviously not the only one who does this. She just has the most severe case of thumb wiggling I've seen so far. But lesser known players like Emrek, Whitecat, Vexay, they do too to some
Doesn't BTMC go crazy with his thumb? That's what I remember looking at his hand cam some time ago. Like he really goes wacko mode with that thumb. Oh dude, you guys remember the BTMC single tap clip where he was single tapping with his whole being basically? That's a crazy clip. Look at this. Oh hell nah, brother. Nah. This guy.
Guys.
This guy's gonna die, man. This is me reacting to him reacting to himself? What if... Oh, I'm gonna upload this on YouTube. BTMC is gonna watch this and now it's gonna be BTMC reacting to me reacting to him reacting to himself. The beauty of YouTube, man.
Isn't this just a natural consequence of moving your fingers? Like thumb being attached to your hand is obviously going to move as well?
Yeah,
No.
it was
As I
that
said,
map.
Some players, and that includes me, don't do it. If you look at my thumb here, it stays almost completely still. Like yeah, there's some movement due to my hand moving as a whole, but it's nothing like the thumb wiggling we see in these other players, where it almost looks like they're kind of rotating their hand to stream. And I'm not tensing my hand, or I'm deliberately
Yes.
trying to keep my thumb still. It's just how I tap naturally.
Maybe that's the secret to infinite stamina. I can tell you, when I was grinding speed a long time ago... Okay, my camera just did that for some reason, the analog horror, but it's okay. A very long time ago, when I was practicing speed, and I didn't really have a good technique, which granted, I don't really have it even nowadays, I remember me tensing up my thumb so much that it would actually hurt. So I actually think wiggling it would be the better move, to be honest.
And yeah, I'm not the only one. Lesser known players like BTMC and Rafis, they don't do it too. It's actually not a lot of players that don't do it, and even with Rafis, I'm not 100%
Oh, really?
certain. It's kind of hard to tell because a lot of
I
players
thought
have their
BTMC
thumb
did.
press it against something, and then obviously it's not going to move much. Doesn't mean that they're not a thumb wiggler though. Umbro is a good example of this. And regarding BTMC, his thumb...
Like, what is that? What is that? His hand straight up turns into La Creatura. It's insane. Has anybody ever noticed this? Look at BTMC.
BTMC, his thumb... yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, why does it matter?
BTMC tapping over 200 BPM. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know.
Well, when I first discovered this, I obviously wanted to find out how it might affect gameplay, and so I tried thumb wiggling myself and noticed that I can't. Like, I'm literally unable to authentically move my thumb while streaming. And this is when I go...
Wait! When you see it! When you see the most legendary keypad of all time, the one and only, oh no! Any Lotus Pro enjoyers in the chat? By God, that is a blast to the past. This guy must be blessed with luck. He's one of the few people who actually got this keypad and didn't get scammed straight up.
People tapping differently was obviously nothing new to me, but being unable to perform a certain tapping style?
That's a whole lot more interesting, isn't it?
My first thought was, maybe it has something to do with differences in physiology, and so I did the only sensible thing and started researching the anatomy of the human hand. And turns out
Wow,
there are differences,
dude.
and dare I say,
We are getting an anatomy lesson? Genetic differences? No.
Was the palmaris
Surely
longus
not.
muscle, a muscle that goes from your elbow into your wrist, and turns out some people just don't have it, including me. Now, if you want to test for yourself if you have that muscle, all you get
What? Wait a second. The palmaris longus? Hey man, let me tell you, I got a muscle that's longus. No, I don't. But it's okay, it's okay. Okay, let's see. Do I have the palmaris longus? You guys do this test. Let's see if you guys got it.
All you gotta do is hold out your hand like this, then touch your pinky and thumb, and then slowly raise your hand. If you have it, it should kinda look like this.
Yeah, man. I totally got it. I don't even have to move my fingers. I can already see it, but... There it is.
The majority of people are thumb wigglers, and the majority of people have this muscle.
Are you seeing where I'm getting at?
Basically, I came up with the hypothesis
But
that
my
the
thumb
palmaris
doesn't
longus
wiggle,
was in
though.
some way responsible for thumb wiggling. According to Wikipedia, the amount of people who don't
I
have it
think-
is somewhere
oh
between
my god,
5
there
and
it is.
25%, which is
Between 5.5 and 24% of Caucasian populations and 4.6 to 26.6 of Asian populations don't have it. Okay, so it's definitely a minority. It's a very common muscle.
Well, I've asked about 20 players or so. Yo, do you have this muscle?
I also asked Zudi herself and some other top players, and she, just like everyone else I've asked, has that muscle. This means that in the end, the total amount of people who don't have the muscle came out to 0. Now that was in the
What?
middle of 2023 and was the end of my investigation
Really?
for a while. I felt
It's that
kind of
rare?
demotivated. I also didn't know if it was even worth pursuing this further. It just seemed like such a random thing, and so I dropped it.
I get
Until
the flow,
beginning of
man.
this year. I started discussing this idea with some members on my Discord server. Brought up that my main struggle
Hey,
with my hypothesis
nice,
is that
man.
I don't have enough data, and so people supported me. Now, regarding the survey, I didn't want to spoil that I'm investigating if there's a connection between the palmaris longus and thumb wriggling, given that if there was, it would probably be a pretty huge finding, and so I wanted to keep it a secret.
I
Unfortunately,
think
this meant that
this guy speaks very fast, which is not a problem because he can definitely put a lot of content into a relatively short amount of time, but it's a bit hard to follow. I think, you know, take it a bit slower, or at the very least, speak your words clearly, because I'm not gonna lie, man, if I didn't have the subs, I think I'd be struggling just a touch. Just a little advice, you know? You need to learn AR11 to watch this video. Yeah, man, you gotta be super quick and super fast.
And so I basically asked, yo, do you have this muscle? Yo, can you maybe send a handcam video of you streaming? Which, perhaps, unsurprisingly...
Wow,
not
that's a
of
lot
people
more
did.
effort
And what
than
was
just
surprising
asking.
was that we had Emrek reply to the survey. In fact, we even had 2 Emreks reply to the survey. Now, in all seriousness,
wow.
the good thing that came of it is that we finally found people who don't have the muscle. In fact, out of 23 respondents, 8 didn't have it, which is almost 35%. On the flip side, none of those sent in any handcam footage. Well, except Emrek, I guess.
Eric, if it's truly you, please comment on another video.
Now, out of the people who did have the muscle...
I mean, I'm pretty sure Emrek is pretty recognizable. Was that Emrek? Emrek never comments on videos, man. Never ever.
Now, one of the respondents, notably the 52nd ranked player in the game...
Hey, that's Saiku. Hey, the big man Saiku. Let's go. Hey, he was in my chat earlier. He knew. He was sensing with his spider senses that I was watching this video. Saiku YouTube or Saiku Twitch maybe, but collecting research for this seems a bit pointless since the muscle is a wrist flexor and really won't affect your tapping in any way. You are destroying the content, Saiku. God damn it, I want to believe. I want to believe in the science. I want to believe in the anecdotal evidence that somehow tapping is correlated to this muscle, okay? Let him cook, man. Let him cook.
You're not wrong, but did you read the studies?
A recent study published in 2016
Owned.
to explore the impact of muscle and
Owned.
function in sports states in their introduction, the distal tendon of the PLM shows a lateral slip that attaches to the superficial surface of the abductor pollicis brevis muscle that may contribute to thumb abduction. which is-
I know some fellas in my chat to have the pollicis brevis muscle. Couldn't be me, man.
At the end of the abstract, it calls the PLM an important abductor of the thumb.
Now, thumb abduction
It's all connected.
is this.
Oh my god.
Now, before you freak out, I don't
Hey,
think
he
that
did
thumb
the
is best in
face.
place. If we take a look again at Zudi's hand cam, we can see that the thumb doesn't seem to be moving by itself all that much, rather it stems from the movement of the hand as a whole. If you don't know what I mean, compare her streaming technique with mine. It seems as if the movement in her fingers is actually coming from her kind of rotating her hand instead of actually tapping with her fingers.
I mean, I don't think he has great technique. What rank is he? Is he a good player? You know, all the respect, my German mate, but the technique is not quite nearly as fleshed out compared to someone like Zudinator.
I quote, "My tapping before was very bad, and I realized it was because I was wiggling my hand left and right instead of actually moving my fingers to stream, which is why I started to put my thumb on
Ain't
the
that
keyboard
the
to stop
Wobble
it from
Wolf
playing
method?
around." And yeah, we can actually see that in the handcam of her newer videos. Her thumb is indeed pressing against the keyboard now.
Speaking of which,
Thumb theory. That is the name of a video uploaded by Galactic Lad N over 3 years ago. Now, if you don't know who Galactic Lad N is, he's one of the fastest speed players out there, if not the fastest speed player. And yeah, that includes faster than even without aperture.
Faster than Merami? I don't know about that, brother. I have to admit it's mostly speculation, but it's based on the fact that Galactic has 360 BPM Isogu play. It's okay, my friend, I forgive you for that. This will unlock new copium. The reason I can't do speed is because I don't have the Longimus Maximus or whatever that was called. It's okay, it's all for content, I get it.
In the description, he goes on to describe how he observed that pressing your thumb against the keyboard while streaming seems to benefit tapping speed and stamina. And that seems to be the very same observation that Zudi recently made with her own tapping.
I don't like that. Doesn't work for me, at least.
okay, so I'm just going to play ARICIN 240 BPM 3 times with the thumb tuck and then 3 times without the thumb tuck and then compare
Oh
the
man,
averages.
now this is hard hitting proof. Without thumb tuck, average miss is 6. With thumb tuck, average miss is 14. I should note that these are drastic differences which are probably caused by my technique not being as good as it could be. However, even so, there wasn't a single moment where I felt that the thumb tuck could be advantageous for me. Yes. With all due respect, to worry about tapping technique and things of that nature when you are a 6-digit, isn't that the worst thing you can do in terms of improvement, etc.? Like, we're already overthinking the muscles and technique and where you put your thumb and blah blah blah. I don't know, man. Again, it's good for content, it's a nice video, but I'm worried. I'm worried about this man's future in this game. Already thinking about this stuff now? Doesn't it make
So
more
to be
sense
able
to
to make any
focus on
conclusive
technique
statement
very
about
early
this
on
video,
in your
let's get on with
Osu
it.
career to prevent bad habits and develop good ones? I mean, I suppose you could say that, but good technique is not about where you put your thumb, I wouldn't say. Plus, when you're very early on, it's not even about technique, it's about probably more about reading than anything. Because, you know, if you can read a stream, you can also tap it, unless you tap like BTMC. Any technique can do, especially as a beginner. I don't think there's really much of a point talking about this early, you know? At the end of the day, it's all opinions. In my opinion, it's not worth it to be looking at this right now, but, you know, that's just me. Wutingu Enjoyer, allow it.
Talked about how
Now, that is a brilliant finger bend. I can't tap like that, man. I keep the fingers like that. A bit more like relaxed, I suppose. Which, in the end, it can work for anybody, really. But most people say that if you bend your fingers, you're gonna stream better or something. So, I guess this guy's got good technique. What about musicians like violin players who focus on technique early on? Dude, we are talking about people who play violin. We are talking about Osu. Everybody taps in their own natural way, I'd say. Honestly, the more I think about, oh my god, my technique, oh I gotta focus on doing this, oh I gotta do that, the more I miss. If you focus on just the circles and reading the circles, your tapping just flows along with it, you know? At least that's my experience nowadays. When I was overthinking about, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta bend my finger like that, I gotta have my wrist at this amount of degrees, otherwise I will... Like, when I was thinking of all that shit, that's when I didn't set any scores.
basically the middle finger is usually longer than the pointer finger, and I guess while tapping,
Yes.
you kind of subconsciously adjust for that. Now, if your thumb is
Look at
pressed
this, my
against
middle finger
something,
is
then it's kind of
long.
forced in place, which in turn makes it a lot harder to adjust for that. Add onto that the fact that the middle finger does seem to be the strongest finger overall. I guess it's
Oh
kinda
my god, dude,
natural
more
for it to tap more
studies.
easily. Because of that, I think that an ideal ergonomic keycap would actually have the keys at different heights and offsets, so the key for the pointer finger would be higher.
Oh my god, it's like, this guy went through all of my years of overthinking and mind blocking at this rank. Oh man, I also like the exact same thoughts. If only my middle finger was as long as my index and blah blah blah. He's thought of all of it.
I think this is also part of the reason why some people prefer tapping with their index and ring fingers.
Yeah,
instead,
there we go.
because the
There we
rings are a
go.
lot
There
more
we go. That's
stable.
what I said.
I also quickly want to mention this technique. Yeah, I know his accuracy isn't that great, but look at his fingers while he's streaming. They're barely moving. It's incredibly efficient. Lastly, we got my good friend Felix, who's
Yeah,
also
man,
a
that was
Thumbwiggle.
working
He's
very
really
well with
tapping
his
this
egg.
thumb in Mestros.
Oh man, we got a German. When ich ohne Pressen gespeilt habe, war Speed normal und Stamina.
There's a Google form in the description. This time I'm not keeping secrets. I've explained everything you need to know. I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to collect some more data. A lot of it is optional.
Oh, this is good though. This is good, because this video definitely got a lot of attention, so he's gonna get a lot more data to work with.
Lastly, before I end the video, there's one last study I want to talk about, which I'm actually really surprised about that no one in the OS community has talked about before. I have it here in my hand. Basically, they came to the conclusion that the biggest predictor of a successful OS career is being subscribed to my channel.
I knew it was gonna be something like that. I knew it. And you know what? I respect it. Now, if I have to give my final thoughts on this video, it started out with a good premise. I thought the editing was pretty snappy. I liked the idea of going in the uncharted territory, but towards the end it kind of lost its footing, I think, with the whole analyzing more and like essentially repeating the same concept over and over again, that we don't know how these things correlate in essence. But oh well. I still think that worrying about those things like technique and whatnot, and where to put your thumb and where to rotate your wrist and how to rotate your keyboard and compensate for X, Y, and Z, that's a bit much, especially for someone who is a beginner. But I mean, he's gonna gather more data thanks to this video and the success that it had. It was an interesting one, so hey, looking forward to how this study continues, and who knows, maybe I will record myself playing streams just so I can give this guy extra data. But there's so much that goes into it. It's very complicated because obviously it also depends on the BPM. Like my technique when I play 180 BPM or 190 is not the same when I play 240. So depending on the strain you put on there, maybe sometimes your thumb moves, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes knows. It's probably gonna be very hard to ever come to a real conclusion. I don't even think that's really possible, but I wish him the best of luck. Cool video though. I'm subscribing to this guy, definitely. You guys check this guy out. There could be some cool content coming in the future, also related. We take those any day of the week.